My name's Luke Page, and on the 11th of July 2022, me and my cameraman Ollie were just one day away from heading out to Ukraine. We were going out there to film a documentary on the impacts of drones on the Ukraine and Russia conflict. So this is what we shot as our first introduction.
My name's Luke Page, and I've always been fascinated by war, especially the different technologies that force the battlefield to change and evolve.
The Ukraine-Russia conflict is widely described as an information war. Who knows the most wins.
So surveillance is a matter of life or death.
And the best way of capturing surveillance?
Fair to say, we didn't know how naive we were being.
Russia has invaded Ukraine.
President Putin of Russia has unleashed war in our European continent.
Vladimir Putin left the world asking, would he?
And where Ukraine's younger citizens are once again bearing some of the heaviest burdens.
As the assault closes in on Kiev, 2.5 million civilians are suddenly on the front line.
This is my first time watching it back.
Boarding the bus at Victoria Coach Station was the first moment that I truly realised what I was doing. Voluntarily travelling to a highly volatile, active war zone. And after 3 days of sleeping on buses, I still didn't feel any better about the idea once I had arrived. We first arrived in Lviv, Ukraine's most westerly city. Lviv had seen a huge influx of refugees since the war broke out, with some attempting to cross over into Poland and others finding wherever they can to try and get through the day. So with a day to spare before moving east, we thought better to first try and understand the people being most affected by this war. We're here outside the old theatre in Lviv, where there's a refuge centre that's supposed to be temporary. We've already been up there, and unfortunately it doesn't look very temporary to me. We're going to come back later with a translator and see if we can get to the bottom of the stories of those who live here. Hi. So, are we okay to...
Жили потом в Донецке. Там мои родители жили, вся моя родня.
She moved here from Azerbaijan when she was 14. She married here and lived in Kherson region.
Сын туда.
Like in 2014, everything started. Like cities were attacked, cities were bombed.
19 лет было. На День независимости.
Her daughter was like in the yard.
Начали бомбить.
One bomb exploded and her daughter was cut like in half. And
This is this lady's daughter.
yeah,
Похоронили ее.
her daughter died the day before she turned 19. She's actually waiting for her grandson documents, like to passport to go abroad.
Уехали оттуда 16 марта, а спали-то в подвале.
Like over there are some people that support Russia, and they've been threatening just to blow all this place up.
Я говорю, меня дочку убили. Он мне говорит, а ты вообще рот закрой, ты вообще не украинка. Слушай, Украина моя родина, я тут живу. Я тут замуж вышла, я родила...
She's living literally next to people that hate what she loves. Thank you, Ida, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an honour hearing your story, honestly, it has. I've still got that note in my room. Yeah, I've still got it with her phone number on it. I just don't know what to do with it. I can't throw it away.
Jesus! Hallelujah!
Do you just send her a text?
We were heading across Lviv Central Park, excited for our next interview. And suddenly, our worst fear happened.
I don't know if you can hear, but the first air raid siren since we've arrived has just gone off. And I mean, I'm looking around and, albeit daunting as hell, the man's still selling his balloons and the people haven't even broke stride. They're walking at the same pace they was. She's running, but that's because of the road, not because of the siren. I mean, we just asked the man, as we've just heard the air siren, we just said, bunker, bunker. We started walking, he's pointing us in a general direction. And I mean, he said, go this way and that way and you won't miss it. And I mean, I've just seen it, I don't think the cameraman's seen it. And you're right, you won't miss it. But that's it. No, that's it. I mean, if we were to pan the camera, I'm the weirdest one here. There's more people in the bar and the bunker's locked. Should it not just be at least unlocked?
Everybody's like a little bit tired of it.
Is that a bunker?
It should be.
It should be the bunker. That's my impression too.
Yes, it should be, but as you see, it's closed.
Clearly.
Unfortunately, yes.
Thank you ever so much, honestly. Guys, enjoy your drink as well.
Thank you.
I can't believe I've just told the woman that helps us out there to enjoy her drink. In the same half an hour, I heard my first air siren. Enjoy your drink, air siren. All right. Guess we move.
We've heard how the war is affecting your average citizen. Now we wanted to hear from the other side. I had met a soldier in the lobby of our hostel.
Vash is a crazy man.
He had just returned from the front line due to an injury he had sustained in his lower back. He was eager to tell us about the drones he'd seen used on the front, so we met up in his favourite bar in Lviv.
I'm normally an anti-tank guy. I go with my buddies to the east, and we fight back the Russians. Drones is really difficult to see why it's so little and so high in the air, you cannot really see.
Would you say those are more effective than, say, a tank?
Yes. Yes. Well, we have maybe 40 millimeter grenades, and he put it down for shoot also the Russians, or the Russians make the same thing by us. When Russians kill us, he becomes $20,000 for us. When he take us, it becomes $30,000 or $40,000.
How do you feel as a human that someone is putting an amount of money on your body?
That's horrible to know it. That's why the Ukrainian soldiers say to us, when you know the Russians can take you, break your handy, put your handy in the water, burn it maybe too, and kill yourself.
Would you feel proud going like that?
Yeah, a little bit, but what I can say, it's hard to say and to sing about that. That's why I drink a lot of beer.
Cheers.
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 And then maybe you can better forget, and you can also better sleep.
Better sleep, yeah.
For better or for worse, we felt like we had a good understanding for how the war was both impacting the soldiers and the civilians. We headed east, now more determined than ever to get some answers.
So we've just hopped on a train leaving from Lviv to Ternopil. This train is insane. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. But that's not the first time I've said this on this trip, and I'm sure it's not the last. We've got a few great interviews lined up, one specifically with a specialist in the field of electrical jamming and drones. So hopefully we can finally get an answer as to how drones is affecting this war.
We knew this link with a drone specialist was a golden opportunity to get an answer to our question. So after a brief Ukrainian speaking lesson, we arrived in Ternopil.
Lovely meeting. Hey, Preston. Lovely to meet you, man.
My family is Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese American, and that's what they saw when they were growing up in Vietnam. That whole conflict there, they just wanted to be left alone. Ukraine is looking to fight for its independence, its freedom. It wants to truly be left alone, and here I am. I'm here because of that. Just imagine right now, if you're a Ukrainian soldier on the front lines, you're armed with your AK-47, and you see a drone in the sky. You know that once you see that drone, there's a few things that are going to happen next. They might send missiles to your location, or they might be scouting to send troops to your location. But now, the type of warfare is more about information. Where do we hit? Where do we send the missiles? And that information warfare is carried out on computers and cameras, drones, and things of that nature. I'm going to be shooting it with the cyber rifle. These drone operators, have gotten very crafty, and they've gotten very creative, and they're saying like, look, these drones can get into places we would never go into. So they've started adding munitions on them. So the drone will be able to do a fly over an enemy tank, and then drop this munition on it, effectively disabling these tanks or vehicles or whatever. Instead of a fighter jets or a bomber running through the sky, effectively with a budget of $1,000, you can take down an entire platoon's weaponry.
Preston, the way he looked at the war was weird. It was weird. He didn't look at it like I thought everyone should look at war. He looks at things so objectively, and numbers, data, does it improve or does it decrease the effectiveness of something? But when there's like real lives on the line, real people, real aiders in the world that need help and stuff, it's hard to compute.
If I was on the front line and I saw a drone, how would I then go about taking that drone out of the sky?
A common way to do it is using directional jamming equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And so the company I'm consulting with, they've created a device. We call it the cyber rifle.
The cyber rifle?
Cyber rifle. So it mounts on the bottom of like an AR-15 or any weapon with a Picatinny. If someone can do the call, it's like, oh, that's a DJI. They operate on this frequency. Everyone tunes their cyber rifles to that frequency. They turn it on, they aim at it, and they blast it. It shoots. Yeah, I know it sounds like it's out of a movie.
It is.
It instead of bullets, it shoots sound waves. From the person driving the drone, it's sending that data to the drone. But if you can capture that data and replay it back, you can effectively cause that drone to say, wait, who am I supposed to listen to? The person that's way over here, or the person that gave me a fresh signal 500 meters away?
The way Preston describes it is almost like a computer game. The upgrades, the advancements, the technology, it's definitely like a war of technology that just keeps going back and forth with the help of someone like Preston, just seeing if they can beat the latest update.
Come on, Sergey, let's spin this scoop.
Mad. After all that, we were in desperate need of a drink. So we headed into the centre of Ternopil, and just like any other place in the world, you'll always find a group of young lads out and about.
Ford? They've asked me for one song from South London. It's on, and I know the whole verses. So I mean, if the camera's still rolling, yo.
XAJ, man mystic with a pen like JK. True say I ain't really a drinker, but I got love for brandy like Ray J. Champagne popper, 44 chopper in a black night bomber. Heartbeat stopper, half our MC dropper, 45 whapper, leave you in the stage like Kappa. AJ from the Lit ex-Santan, man's got style and a rhythm like Gangnam. Two young brothers trying to eat off of music, but we used to eat off of pens in the
Back in our hostel in Lviv, we had met a chubby Canadian who spoke with a mystical US Army vet who was on the front lines causing the Russians havoc and liberating orphanages. We felt like we had to put him in touch with Preston, and suddenly we were swimming with the sharks.
We're giving our own personal food and like shoes, our own shoes to people because we're running out of funding.
We quickly learned Johnny's a hero, and we need to try to do all we can to help him. So we formulated a plan, and the adrenaline was pumping.
It doesn't matter for me if I get $1 or whatever out of this thing, but if you are even a quarter of the serious that you are seeming right now, and you can talk to some of the people that I know, that's a game changer. That's gonna save a shit ton of lives, dude.
This conversation could lead to the saving of thousands of people, if not millions. It was just a shame we couldn't understand any of it. And as they continued to talk in nerd, we began to lose focus.
I'm looking forward to this. I think we all are. It's just really exciting. And yeah, let's make this happen.
Yes, we're going to as close to the front line as you can possibly get while staying safe, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And we get to see these drones live in the flesh. Cheers, Preston.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Up to this point, we'd heard it all. It's all a lot of word of mouth. To hear Johnny on the front line, knowing that we're full well about to go out there, scary, scary.
So we've just got on the train, the sleeper train. If you can't really tell, from Ternopil to Kyiv, I'm shattered. I don't know the time. I was gonna check my watch. I don't have one on. It's probably about 9:30. I think we get in at 4:45. I'm wrecked already. Sleep tight.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We've travelled halfway across the road, literally halfway across the road. And this waste man is still about. He's still here, man. He can't leave. He won't do it. Halfway across the road, this is now live in Kyiv, and he's still here. This waste man. Can we take this down? If we can get a few words on why Bojo's a waste man, then potential.
Arriving in Kyiv, we felt for the first time that we were actually in a war zone. Sandbags littered the pavement, and there was an eerie silence in the air. We stopped off at Sergei's apartment, a friend of Preston's, to drop off some gear. However, we had no idea how ill-prepared we were for what Sergei had to tell us.
Я подумав, що якщо бої вже в місті...
On the third or fourth evening that the war started, he was stood right here. And if you can see that what I can see right now, he has a beautiful view of the city. He's saying that it was erupted with light and bombs and shelling.
Чергував. Уночі я чергував в бомбосховищі.
In the first days, there were very frequent shellings and explosions. My heart ached like never before.
I can see in Sergei's eyes right now that it's tough for him, man. This is home. Imagine this was London and you look out your window in London and you see your city burning. This is what the reality is like for people here.
Бачив, як підіймався дим, коли ракета попала в нашу телевежу.
I also saw how the smoke rose when the rocket hit our TV tower, in which about 3 floors were destroyed. 23 different people died there, 3 different children. Then another girl died there, who is the daughter of an acquaintance of an acquaintance.
Sergei can stand here, and I'm sure he can stand here for hours and point in different directions of his own city and tell me a story about what he saw over the last 3 to 5 months. The TV tower being hit, the helicopter being hit, the smoke he saw from the warehouse over on our left, that every single time for 100% certainty at least one person died. And he can keep telling these stories. These stories don't end for people that live here.
І коли був обстріл у Вінниці, скільки минуло 5 днів, останній обстріл у Вінниці.
They've got their taste of freedom, that independence that they've only just got over the last 30 years. The people of Ukraine are willing to do anything to defend their home. And Sergei, even having seen everything, even having the checkpoint right below his window, he says if it kicks off again, he's here and he's ready to defend his home. Do you think you'll ever be able to look out this window and smile again?
How did that evolve throughout your career? You started as a programmer.
І ми будемо посміхатися усі. І дуже довго. Завжди.
I believe that it will happen very soon. Soon Russia. Soon we will defeat Russia and we will have victory and we will all smile forever.
And 3 to 5 months ago, I mean, Russia was in Kyiv. Russian forces were in Kyiv, and they're not anymore. So I mean, that shows how hard the Ukrainian people have fought to defend their city and to push the Russians back. And when you look at someone's eyes, when you feel the tension in the room, when they give you goosebumps, it's something that I can't even put into words. And for Sergei to put that into words for us, I don't know if I'd be able to speak on some of the things he's witnessed. If I had seen some of the things in London, I think that might be it for me. I think that might be it for a lot of people I know. I'd say for me, this is this is probably my most memorable moment of the trip. Stood at this window. The pain in his face was just, it's just undescribable. Looking at all the destruction and him taking you down the timeline of what happened when and how he saw it, and it was a lot.
So with that, we said goodbye to Sergey and went on to go and find Johnny and his crew.
So we've just met up with Johnny and his gang in the middle of a supermarket. I don't know if you can see by the mess around me, there's drone equipment everywhere. This is mental.
We're with the big dogs now. These are the guys navigating the front lines, giving water to orphanages and medicine to care homes.
When you start to just briefly live the lives that these people do live, it's a real eye-opener into the harsh reality of what it's actually like.
Most of this group recently worked normal jobs and have adapted their skill set to help the war effort. So let's meet the team getting us to Kharkiv.
The Russians are the best fertilizer for the ground. Banter.
Before heading on to Kharkiv, we were told there was a man that we needed to meet. The man some Ukrainians say will win them this war. We're taken away to a top secret location on the edge of Kyiv to meet him.
So Maxim, lovely to meet you. I mean, man, I'm in awe of your facility already. This is crazy. This is basically just an office block that you guys have converted into. This can only be described as the Batcave. Could you briefly describe what you do here?
The guys with guns come to me and say, Maxim, we need drones.
It's crazy,
yes,
man. Maxim, we need drones.
Yes, we need drones. We need drones which can fly on that distance, with that weight.
And you guys do it?
Yes.
But what's your favourite thing? So if I had to say to you, Maxim, someone's going to come to you and say, I need this, what do you want to do?
I want to see the video of burning ass of orcs, and it's the best.
Wait 1 second, Maxim. If I could just point my cameraman to this. If I could just point him to this, I mean, that sums up the whole office, really. I mean, Maxim's laughing behind the camera. He's laughing, and without capturing too much, you can see the sort of stuff they do here. And I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal. This is what they do it for. If you'd like to show us around, that would be perfect.
At first, I want to talk about our looting and researching drone. We make our own...
for surveillance?
Yep. We're proud that it's our frame. It's our own personal frame. We make the frame in Ukraine. The pilot, which controls this drone, can control it by goggles or by monitors, only for pilots with some experience.
So if I could fly a DJI drone, would you let me fly this?
No. For me, the pilot which are flying on DJI, it's not a pilot.
What would you describe them as if he says Russian?
In right hand, you can make some incredible job with this drone. But if you have no experience at all, go and teach, please. It's the way.
Stay away from these.
We're trying to get to Kharkiv.
I'm
trying to push the big button. Turn and hold.
Turn and hold, so not even just press.
Yep.
So keep holding.
Yep.
You could have made a better switch.
You can
I think that's for the best.
When the drones are created, we go into Polygon, the place where we can fly.
Sorry, Polygon, is this the testing? It's a testing facility.
It's the testing place.
And would you drop things at the Polygon?
Yes, we're dropping some presents, but Mulya...
You see how he smiles when he says presents? It's hilarious.
We drops actually the bottle from with water.
Hydration station.
Yep.
These drones need to go to soldiers on the front line that need it yesterday. Me and Maxim are meant to be in an interview. He's currently fixing another drone. I don't blame him, to be fair. Another 2 pig stickers, but it's fine. But when you look at the size of this drone, like, it's incredible. Maxim's already said has a payload of about 10 kilos, 20 kilos, obviously depending on the size of the motor and the torque each one can produce. But I mean, imagine you're a soldier in the field and you see that in the sky. You look up, what, is that a bird? Is that a plane? And it's that thing. It's crazy, these lot take the mick. A reason for this drone just purely to be carry the present to the target and back. Yep.
No extra flying.
Yep.
The target.
When you see the fireworks, you make some corrections.
When you see the fireworks.
Yep.
Guy Fawkes, you've got it.
Yep. You make the second goal.
Did you hear that?
Make some drops for other one and for other one.
I almost want to cry. Oh.
If you want, you can cut and make some help to us. Like.
Come on. When in Ukraine, come on. Time has come. Luke's making a drone. You'll never use one of these. I'll pretend like I know what I'm doing though. So Maxim is the guy. We were just about to wrap up the interview, and Maxim said to me, "Do you want a present?" And at first I didn't know what he meant by a present because he keeps referring to the presents as something I don't want to refer to on camera. But this isn't
I
too
don't know
far
how
off.
you will be flying on the plane.
So I got to go home and I got to go through customs, and they say, "What's this?" I was like, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. That's the honest truth.
It's the answer. I wouldn't
I don't
tell
know.
you.
If he doesn't tell me what it is, I don't know what it is. That's fine, right? Surely. Yeah. Well, honestly, Maxim, thank you for showing me around your place. Your place is sick, man. This is Batman. Batman live in the flesh. He's got some cool shit here. Thank you ever so much. So we've left the drone nerds. We're going to meet more drone nerds, but these drone nerds are on the front line, so I can't even call them nerds because they'll f me up. But we're heading to Kharkiv. The contact that Johnny gave us has pulled through. He's going to be dropping off drones on the front line, which is crazy. Kharkiv, if anyone's seen it on a map, is fucking close to the front line. Too close for my liking. But the content is so good, man. We can't not go. So, I mean, you can see by my face, it's a scary thought, but here we are in the car. And I mean, on that note, we've got to go, man. I can't lie. Scared shitless.
So with that, myself, Johnny and Preston left the Batcave and began our journey towards Kharkiv. We've seen where and how the drones are created, and now we're going to follow the route that's taken them to the front line. We eventually stopped at a hotel a few miles outside the city, ready to go in the next day.
So we just stepped out of the hotel after a long night, half the night driving, half the night sleeping. It's early in the morning now, but I head out to Kharkiv. I beg you don't tell my mum I'm even half this far. But look, I'm hurting, bro. This is heavy shit. I mean, if I was to drop this, it's ain't no joke round here, but you need this to survive, so hopefully we do so. See you on the other side. What, do I look stupid?
No, you look nice though.
Swear. Aye. Look. Sometimes AJ, man, me stick with a pen like JK. She say I ain't really a drinker, but I got love for brandy like Ray J. Champagne, pop a booty for drop and a black light for my half beat stopper, half our MC drop, leave it a top, leave it. Oh!
I've never heard that before.
We've not even made it to Kharkiv.
A minute ago, 4 minutes ago, Kharkiv Oblast, aerial threat, siren sounding, take over now.
So we've got this app here, I don't know if you can see. Alert, 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 7 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago.
I haven't seen this amount of people flee an area since the initial invasion.
And we're not fleeing, we're going the other way. Sick. So everyone's fleeing Kharkiv, and 3 Westerners sat in a Jeep going the other direction with a huge Ukraine flag on the bonnet. Great idea. Starting to get real out here, I can't lie. I mean, we're all suited and booted out here, and it's no joke. I mean, even getting to this shot, I've got to let someone walk first and then take the step after them. I'm starting to wonder if this documentary's worth it, but I mean, I can't come all this far and then go back. Shit.
Hang in.
Shit. Yeah. Shit. Wait, I've got to watch my step.
With each checkpoint we passed, our heart rates quickened. We had no idea what we were in for, and all I could think about is how angry my mum would be if she knew where we were. Kharkiv was the front line, and we were told when we entered we would be within 5 miles of Russian soldiers. This is really it.
I'm here in pretty much the center of Kharkiv. I'm scared to bits, to be honest. I mean, everywhere I look,
There's glass missing, there's not a window in sight, front, behind, left, right. That's not been smashed to hell. Oh, one sec. Fuck the shot you're doing. Oh shit. Oh shit. What the hell happened here? I'm scared to crap that something hasn't gone off.
We wandered around, unaware of what this place had once been. We were just beginning to wrap up and leave when it hit us.
This is a nursery. I'm standing inside a nursery. I'm finding it hard to find words. I know there were kids here.
We continued our journey across the city towards our meet point. The city remained resilient, despite the constant barrage from the oncoming invaders. The former Soviet building stood proud in staunch defiance as the front line of the free world. We occasionally stopped whenever Johnny told us to come inside for cover, and as we waited for the sirens and the whistles of the overhead bombs to quiet, we watched stern, tired faces appear from the crumbling buildings. Despite the horror they face, they are more determined than ever to continue with their daily lives, to continue to live as free Ukrainians. As we slowly moved across the city, my spirit began to shake. I felt myself becoming more angry, more frustrated, and more helpless.
I just don't get it. How someone can have a complete disregard for human life.
We had one final stop before meeting up with Sergei.
Someone actually just told me what this building was. So it was a school. They don't actually need to tell you what the building is though. It's the contents of the building is there for everyone to see. There's remnants of, I mean look, the alphabet. The Cyrillic alphabet. That is someone's school book. There's a name. Ages 9 to 6. There wasn't soldiers here. This is a military camp, a base, so this is a school. And people were murdered here. When you come to these places after the fact, there are little things you see, and it builds the picture of what really happened. This room, in the corner of my eye, is a calendar. On the calendar, the date's the 28th of June. It's the 20th of July. So we're not even a month on. I just hope that whoever changed that from the 27th of June to the 28th of June saw the 29th.
You can understand how the Ukrainian people have such passion and camaraderie in this war when the Russians do things like this and destroy lives, like the people who would have been there.
There'd been an issue on the front line and Sergei couldn't make it. But to be honest, at this point, I didn't care. Quietly relieved, we headed back to Kyiv.
When we arrived in Ukraine, which feels like forever ago now, we had one question: how does technology affect war? A to B. It's not as simple as that. And regardless, it doesn't even matter, because war will always be war. Nothing will change. People will still always lose their life. I mean, look at some of the people we've met, some of the things we've seen. They're all incredible and they're all hurting deep, deep, deep down. I don't think there's an answer to this, and I'm not sure there ever will be. Man. They've got sandbags protecting their version of Nelson's column. Sandbags protecting your monuments. That's not how you should live. Your monuments next to your memorial walls. That's not how you should live. Messages about saving children. That's not how you should live. The world help us. This is the only message I can portray from being here. Because I'm going to help. This has changed my life. Believe it or not, I don't care if you do, because it's changed my life. I came here and I didn't know what I want to do, but I know now what I want to do. Because you can't leave this place without trying, man. You can't. Some of the things we've seen, some of the people we've met, and some of the facial expressions, I won't be able to forget now. I'll be back to help. I'll be back to help. Maybe again next year. Mate, if I have to ever come back to this place and it's worse, man, I won't leave. Nah, it's crazy, man. That wasn't even into the camera, man. That's the. I turned it into the camera, but it's actual fact, man.
Right, Luke, I've got a couple of questions to ask you, bro.
Probably the lowest I've ever felt in my life, actually, probably. I was angry, I was sad, I wanted to cry, I wanted to shout, scream, I don't know. It was just, I feel guilty watching it back, bringing all the emotions back, but yet coming back to my life before, I feel guilty that I haven't done anything more.
What would Luke on that day in Kharkiv say to Luke now?
I think Luke would grab this Luke, shake him a bit, so come on, mate, do something. And I don't think he'd have an answer to the rebuttal I'd give back as do what. I don't think he'd have an answer, but I don't think he'd let go of me without reminding me to do something, without reminding me of how strongly I felt. Stood at those sandbags.